That is crazy. That's unreal. Thank you so much.
Want such smile makeovers in Cali without regrets? Follow these do's and don'ts from our expert in this video and save up to 70%.
The doctor, the medical officer, it has trained in Colombia, in Chile, in the United States, in dental implants, restorations, bone grafting, and all those type of things. Training and quality of the doctors, they are really experts. I was talking with a doctor, for instance. He's the ITI, which is Worldwide International Tip of Implantology Association. He's the director for Cali. He's continually training. He's actually a trainer for trainers. He trains other doctors. Here in Cali, other doctors call him when they have complex surgery. So, and this goes for the rest of our team. We are really focused on the quality of the doctors that we work with. People is usually looking for a better price when they come here, but usually the lowest price is not necessarily the better. We have many different clinics and you'll be able to find different price breaks. Just make sure always of the qualifications of the doctor, of the facilities where you're going to be taken care of the staff that is going to be accompanying you. For instance, I know of clinics that offer certification to they don't speak English. How can you really understand what the doctor is suffering, what the doctor, if they don't properly speak English? So all of those things add to the service, and sometimes obviously it has a price difference. But it's very important to do your research and make sure that you're selecting not only based on price, but on the service that you're gonna be getting. Sometimes I use not only the price. Sometimes people ask, like, I only have 1 day. Can we do this in 1 day? Like, no, the right thing to do is not do it in 1 day. In terms of price, in terms of timing, and in terms of procedures. I also have patients that say, like, I want all my teeth out and I want implants. And that, from an ethical and a health point of view, is not the right thing to do. A good doctor will tell you that's not the right thing to do. But obviously, if you don't do your research, you might end up in a place that said as, okay, we will do that in a day, and then, it may fail the week after, or offer a better price and it's not what you expected, or say that they're gonna do something that you want on UNEP is not recommended, and you may end up having issues, maybe not now, but years from now. So it's very important not to only fall really hear of the recommendation of the doctor and not only looking for a price. They can reach us through one of our partners, and one of the patient coordinators will help them. Usually they need some information, and one of the patient coordinators will help them to have a tentative plan. It won't be like a final plan until we don't do the actual clinical assessment and x-rays, but it will give us a good idea on what type of work the person needs, advice, what we think is going to be happening, how much finance needs to come, an estimate for the work so the person is prepared. There's always obviously a change between the initial estimate and the final, but in my experience, I've been working with this a long time, it's not significant. If we have good pictures, x-rays, we can give good estimate on the work that is going to be needed. And we can also plan accordingly. Like, we can tell them you need to come 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 days. And usually we are very good at committing to those dates that we set. In the estimates that we give, I try to include everything that they can possibly need, like the x-rays, medications, IV session, anything that they need in terms of medical costs. I try to include it. And I also always try to include the worst case scenario. For instance, if we're not sure if they're going to need a bone graft, I mentioned if we need a bone graft, this might be and the cost, so that they're prepared. Anything that I think they might need, I don't like surprises. And that's why I tell you that usually there's not a significant difference between what we have discussed and the final cost, because I have always included like all the things. Logistic cost, obviously the air flight, the airfare, you have to consider that. The local transfers, I usually can offer complimentary transfers for big treatments. So we can pick them up at the airport, we can pick them up for each one of their appointments and so forth. And the other cost will be obviously accommodations. We have tons of good accommodations for $50 a night around the area. We have hotels or Airbnbs. Obviously, it depends. There's cheaper options if the patient is really budget centered. And we have very nice resort type accommodations if the patient is wanting to mix with a little vacation. Cali is a small city in Colombia that is very well known for medical tourism. We have some of the biggest hospitals in Colombia. They're very well recognized in terms of like rankings, for Latin and South America. We're in the top rankings. So Cali is very well known for medical quality. Cali, it's a safe city. We have fortunately never had a bad experience with a patient. What I always tell patients is be careful with your phone. Phones are really easy to resell here. So if you're outside in the street, like taking pictures, they're gonna see the phone, and if it's like the latest phone, it's gonna get stolen. It's not like the worst thing, but it's a bad experience that I want our patients to avoid. Make sure you use like an Uber app or an app to call for car services so that you know who's driving you. And if you're gonna be walking down the street, which is perfectly safe, but just make sure that you don't have, like big gold chains. At your meeting in Cali, almost all my life never been robbed. But we see patients, like we have different patients every day and nothing ever happens. But usually in Cali, as in any city, you can use like reviews that you see online to know if a place is well known and safe. To be honest, I always tell patients, do your research. It's very important for them to feel comfortable with the doctor and the clinic that they're choosing. I think there's many good doctors in Cali. I'm always here to talk with patients and answer any questions, and I think that makes a difference. We understand that it's not easy to travel somewhere else to get medical care. And mental care is medical care. So we really want to ensure that the patient has as much information as he can prior to the trip, that he feels as much accompanied during the whole procedure. We usually have transfer services pick up at the airport. We can recommend hotels depending on what the patient needs. Some patients just want budget hotels, or want some other kind of accommodation. So we can advise them and be with them the whole way to make sure that the experience, which I understand is not easy, becomes easy. And it really, the comments that we have from our patients and that you can see in the reviews usually exceeds their expectations, and we have many, for instance, people that is really nervous at the beginning of traveling alone, and then they become like family, and they come every year just to get a checkup. And so I think that's another big difference, that we do have like this department, international patient department, that works with patients to make sure that the whole experience is good. Cali is very well known for, and probably that you have seen, this is the tropics. We have beautiful vegetation. We have beautiful places outside of the city where you have, all type natural hikings and all those things. We have the Cali Zoo, which is very nice. We have the botanical garden, which is very nice. Cali is crossed by the Cali River, and walking near, in the path of the Cali River is also very nice, and there are areas where you have like restaurants and all type of things. So it's all very surrounded by nature. We do have the next restaurants, bars, and beauty related things are also very well known here. So I have a lot of patients that love to take the opportunity to also, get fillers and get their nails done, and because that's another niche that is very well developed in Cali, like the beauty industry. Cali is very well known as the salsa capital of the world. We love dancing salsa, so it's a very nice experience for patients to go. That's something different. We have different salsa shows in Cali that they can go, and they're perfectly safe. I can help patient with that because depending on what the patient wants, I can advise them on things too. Not everyone is like a mature lover. They might want to go salsa dancing, and sometimes they might be more extreme. Might they want to do paragliding or something different. There's many things too. In terms of restaurants, there's many good restaurants in Cali. Near here, there's a very like 2 blocks from here when patients come in and they have like a couple of hours while we prepare something. I always recommend them. There's a very good restaurant called La Comitiva. There's just a couple blocks from here. But if they have more time, I would recommend we have this beautiful restaurant that is near the Cali River and serves typical food. And the setting is just beautiful. It's also like 15 minutes to drive from here. But there's many other options. It really depends on what the patient wants. And then I can need different recommendations.
Get a great smile with Dentification. Visit a hand-picked dental clinic today.